Hey, this is our friend Melissa.
Hello, mate.
And we've asked her to do our interview series because she has a different story than some of our other friends. So before I get into the questions, just tell them kind of how you met us.
Well, I stalked them.
She's a good stalker, so don't y'all do that.
Yeah, like, I'm a cool stalker, not a crazy stalker. Okay, so our kids went to preschool together, and they're both the same age, boys, and anyways, my son didn't really have any friends out because, I mean, all of our group of friends, we had one kid that was his age, so he really took to their son. Well, I messaged her. I found her on Facebook, stalked her, and found her.
Yeah, you saw my name signed on the book.
On the book. That's right. You have to sign your kids in. And so I was like, what is this chick's name? And so I looked up her name and found her on Facebook. And this is the first thing to me. Okay, like, she had purple hair at the time, like, she has a tub over there. I would show you, but it's really far over there. But it was like purple, and she was covered in tattoos.
And your hair was vibrant too.
Yeah.
So you look like somebody that would hang out with us.
Yes, and
so
it was like maroon. Yeah, now I'm their basic friend. I once was not, but I am now. But anyway, so I remember like telling my husband like, hey, Jace is friends with this little boy, and their parents like. The mom has purple hair and all these tattoos, and I've seen the dad a few times, and he has all these tattoos. They should be my friends. Like, we would totally be good friends. Because I'm not from here. I didn't go to school here, so I'm not, like, I don't really know a whole lot of people, and I was really excited to see people, because I like diversity in my friends, and I was like, oh my God, they stand out. And like, she has a pink Cadillac. All this stuff made her stand out, so I messaged her. I was like, so our kids should be friends. And that's how that started. And anyway, she was like, yeah, that's fine. They can have a play date, blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, I think you know my girlfriend, Jamie. Well, I used to own a boutique, and Jamie used to go shopping there. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't know you guys were best friends. Because girlfriend can mean that.
Right.
And Crystal's like, no, like, we're dating. That's my girlfriend. And I was like, but wait, aren't you married to a dude? And she said,
yeah.
What?
And that was like at the same time that we weren't really like out either.
No. And you said, yeah, I am married to a dude. We all live together. We're all one happy family. I said, cool. So when can our kids play?
Yeah, you're like, okay. And you just like jumped over it like it was like no big deal.
And then, and I only know this because I went back and reread these messages.
Oh my God.
Like they're still on my phone. So then I was like, okay, so not to be weird, but I don't have a filter, and this is just who I am, which neither does she, so it's totally cool.
Yep.
But I was like, my husband told me not to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you now that I know you're attracted to girls. I told my husband I was really attracted to you. Yes. Listen, I just read this and I was like, oh my God, you freaking idiot.
I forgot.
Yeah. So I was like, my husband told me not to tell you because it sounds super weird. But I went home and told my husband, oh my God, there's this girl with purple hair and tattoos and I'm so attracted to her. But like attracted, like, I want to be her friend. Like, we would really get along, I can tell. And anyway, so I was like, now that I know you're attracted to girls, I can tell you I was attracted to you, but not in that way. It's not going to be weird. And you were like, oh yeah, I totally get it. I have no filter either. It's totally fine. And then I thought, after reading this, and it's been years later, I was like, oh my
That's
God.
hilarious. I feel like I need to go back on our Facebook messages.
I mean, they're like right here. We don't have very many
That's
messages on
hilarious.
Facebook.
Okay, yeah, because then we just
Traded
numbers.
after
and
that,
then
we traded numbers, and we was just friends, and we
Oh, God.
hung out. I came to a barbecue here. It was my first
and
time.
the kids were out there on the water slide.
Yes, it was my very first time here, and in normal Melissa fashion, I turned it into basically a talk sex with Sue. Do you remember that on the back porch?
And we weren't the craziest ones.
No, but like I asked them the most personal questions in the world because that is who I am, and it's a problem, but you guys were so open about it. I live vicariously, so I'm like, tell me about this. How does this work?
Yeah, but in the same sense, we can ask you anything and
Yeah.
you'll be the same way.
Yeah,
so it's like totally different, you know, like randos that they literally just want to know that information. Like, but you're the kind of person that wants to get to know someone 100%.
Yes.
Plus some.
Agreed. So I did. I remember like thinking afterwards, man, I hope these people don't think I'm weird because I'm a Sagittarius, she's a Sagittarius, Jamie's a Sagittarius. It is, all three of us are just very open, very blunt people. And so after I found out that, I was like, ooh, so maybe they're not going to think I'm so weird. So,
nope. And you've stuck around 4 years now.
I mean, it was meant to be. I knew it. I knew it was. I was like, I got to be their friend.
And the boys are staying the night together.
Yeah. Yep. They're still friends, still hang out, still get together. So it totally worked out.
Yeah. Oh, dear. I've really got to go see those Facebook messages.
I'm telling you. They're embarrassing because I feel like a weirdo. Like, and I remember thinking when she told me, I remember thinking specifically, like, I felt like she had to tell me that before I could bring my kid over here. And I don't know if you did, if that's how you felt, but that's the vibe I got.
Well, I was like, hey, this is the situation, so I don't want you to come here and be like...
Yeah, and that's what I thought. I got that vibe that she was like, hey, I wanted to let you know, but she didn't say it that way. She was just like, you know, my girlfriend, and that was her way of kind of easing me into that.
Right.
And to me, I was like, why do you feel the need to express your relationship that goes on inside this home in order to have your son have friends? Like, that has
Because we're in the South, and we were so closeted, and we'd already lost friends from... them just kind of knowing.
Yeah, I definitely didn't agree with, like, I'm not saying I didn't agree with you. I didn't agree that, I felt bad that you felt you had to be that way in order for them to play with each other.
Right.
I mean,
I know, it's sad.
It is what it is. But I'm from Colorado, so, and I grew up in a home, and I think this helps me a lot. I grew up with my mom, my dad, and my mom's boyfriend all living together. They were not a couple. They didn't even share the same room, but that's just the way it was.
Right.
Like, my mom and whoever she was dating at the time had their own room. My dad would have his own room, and we were all just one happy family. And even in a situation like that, I wasn't allowed to have certain kids stay at my house. Their parents thought that was weird. They weren't allowed, and I'm like, they weren't even sleeping together, you know?
Right.
But I totally get it, because kids weren't allowed to spend the night with me, and I thought, I would never... be like, well, my kid can't hang out with your kid because you love another person.
Yep, it's sad.
It's weird. That's
But
weird.
it
Y'all don't
happens.
be weird.
Like, what was just your initial reaction? Like, what was your first thoughts?
That, I mean, literally my first thought was, okay, cool, like, why are you telling me? Like, and then it went straight to all the other questions that I had for you on the back porch.
Oh, well, yes, of course.
Were just like normal, how does this work type thing.
Oh, my God. Good God.
And they told me, they 100% told me, and I was like, okay, cool. I've never, it's not something I've ever done. I've never even had a one-night stand, so I get to live through them.
Oh, dear. So, I know that there wouldn't necessarily be any worries,
Okay.
but did you have any worries, or maybe, like...
Yes. This is weird, and I think I've told you guys this before. The only worry I had is when I first started hanging out with you guys, which I knew Jamie before I had ever even met them. When I owned a boutique, she used to come in all the time. And Jamie is one of the sweetest people in the world. She really is. Well, the only worry I had, it had nothing to do with you three as a couple or anything like that. I thought Jamie didn't like me when I started hanging out with you guys, because I thought she was like, I don't know, like, you two started out as best friends, and then it turned into something more. And so in the very beginning, she is so nice that I thought it was like being sarcastic nice, and that she really like didn't like me around, because I instantly like click with people really well.
Right.
And I thought that was the only worry I ever had, is like, I don't want Jamie to think I'm going to try and steal Crystal from her.
Right.
That was it. And
that's not bad.
That's the only worry.
So,
Do they
like,
have
these
a
are
worry?
mainly like questions for parents,
But some people, like friends, my husband, he had worries. Like, he didn't want to be your guys' friends because he worried about things that now he doesn't.
Now he loves us, even though he still won't come hang out with us at our house.
He's never been over here. Ever. Ever. I feel super bad, but he said he's coming next time we come over and we're doing, you know, our nights or whatever. But my husband is from here. He wasn't born here, but he was more or less raised here. He is Southern. He is straight-laced, like, very, very, very much so. And he's not religious or anything like that, so it had nothing to do with that. But he definitely was like, bro, there's like 3 of them. They're all in a relationship together. Like, I don't want to hang out with them. That creeps me out.
But every time we've been around him, like, we've had a freaking good time.
Yes.
Like, literally every time we've been around him.
Yes, and I continued to invite them to, like, everything we did. We had a Super Bowl party, and I remember, like, being upset with him and everyone else, to be honest, at that party, because that's the first time you guys ever hung out with our group of friends.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember specifically, me, you, Jamie, Joey, and Ivy sat on this side of the room, and they were all on that side of the room. Like, it was like a 7th grade dance where cliques were split up. And I remember thinking, like, y'all, don't be assholes. Do not be an asshole.
We're also not football people.
I know.
So we weren't really,
they
like,
knew nothing about the game,
mingling.
and it was the Broncos, and we won that year, and that's my team. But they did not care about that.
Yeah, no. We just come to hang out and eat.
I do remember that, and I remember, like, being annoyed with CJ for not making more of an effort of getting to know you, but I just continued to invite them. They would come to everything I invited them to, and slowly but surely my husband absolutely loves them. He thinks they're really great people individually. He thinks they're really great friends. So, I mean, everyone should be like Melissa.
He comes over. Yeah, more people should be like.
Yeah. You will freaking like them. You just have to get to know them. And that's the thing. People instantly some people want to put up a wall and just be like, oh, because there's 3 of you in a relationship, I don't want to get to know you.
Right.
Because that's not the kind of relationship
Or
that
they
I
do
have.
because they want to be nosy.
Yeah, which is weird. Like, I don't like that one girl. Remember? I'm not going to say her name. But do you remember that one girl?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this girl bashed me for being friends with him and was, like, telling me they could be bad influence on Jace, blah, 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 blah. And then when people started to, like, notice them more, then all of a sudden she wanted to be their best friend because she's nosy.
Yeah. I can't imagine my son being a bad influence.
Yeah, not at all. Like, he's the smartest freaking kid I know. He's going to be
says
the next
that.
president. He really is.
Oh, God. I don't know about that.
I mean, he has the potential. He's like genius level smart.
Maybe so. So, I'm sure you have. So, how have you had to explain us to people that didn't already know?
Oh my God. I've had to explain it to everybody. Anybody that didn't know, then when they started to hear things about you guys and they would ask, like, aren't you friends with the Triplets? Mm-hmm. And everyone always thinks that's a made-up name because there's 3 of you.
We've heard that so many times.
Yeah. So it always gets brought up, and like, every time I'm just like, okay, there's Crystal and Joey. Crystal and Joey was married for 11 years. Crystal became best friends with a girl named Jamie. She started to have feelings for Jamie, and this is the exact way you explained it to me.
Yeah.
She started to have feelings for Jamie. Then you 2 started to have a relationship, and you didn't tell Joey at first.
I did.
Oh, like,
Joey
no,
knew everything.
Oh, when you started to like her in the beginning, though, but you were kind of scared to tell him, but you guys weren't doing anything at this point, but you were developing feelings for her. So then you went to him and told him, like, I'm having feelings for her, and he said, I already knew, like, I could tell you were feeling some type of way for her. That's what I remember the story.
I don't know. I know I
I
never kept
remember
anything from him.
No, I remember you telling me, like, you went to him and told him, like, you were having feelings for this girl, like, more feelings
Like, I
than
was
friendship.
fighting
Yes.
inside.
And he was like, I already knew, like, I could tell there was something that you were feeling. So, anyways, then long story short, Joey started to have feelings for her, too, and then here we are. Here you are.
So easy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's really that simple. They all live together, they all work, they all take care of Jameson, that, you know, and I remember Jameson in preschool telling Jace he had 2 moms. Like, I remember him explaining that, you know, when you guys would come, if you and Jamie would come pick him up together, that's what he would tell his friends, like, my 2 moms are coming to get me, and so...
That's so cute.
I remember Jace had asked me the first time we came over here, and I explained it to him and Serenity, because at that time, Serenity...
That would have been 4 years ago.
Yeah, she's 12, so 8.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so she was 8, and I remember having to tell her, okay, listen, like, don't be weirded out, or don't think, like, oh my God, it's uncomfortable, because I believe kids are raised to be discriminatory against certain things. So if you raise them to be discriminatory, they're
Yes.
going to be
Yes.
discriminatory.
Yes.
If you raise them to be racist, they're going to be racist. It is all in how you raise your child to be.
Absolutely.
Granted, they can grow up and have their own opinions, and that's totally fine. But as a child, if I told her we're going to these people's houses and they're weirdos, she's going to,
Right.
you know? So I was like, there's 2 wives and a husband. They're all the parents of this little boy. And, you know, I said, everyone loves differently. Some parents have 2 dads. Some parents have 2 moms. Some parents have freaking 7 moms in Utah, you know? It is what it is.
Right.
And so my kids never thought another thing about it, and they've never once questioned you guys or thought anything different about you guys because it just was that simple.
Right. I know. It really is that simple.
Really is.
So, do you have any, like, words of wisdom or anything for anyone out there, whether it be, like, family or friends, to people that may be in poly relationships, and maybe they don't know, like...
They don't know that they're having those feelings?
Well, like, from your standpoint, like, you just went in with a positive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Well, that's what I would tell people. I mean, I don't have the mentality to not be that way. Like, I don't have the mentality to not be open-minded. For being so sheltered and, you know, like, never doing anything crazy like that in my life, I'm very, very open-minded to what other people want to do. And I just personally feel like, okay, for instance, Joey has said this to me once before. He had brought it to my attention that the way I was with you guys and the way I initially was so welcoming and, like, 100% okay with you guys made you guys feel more, what's the word? I don't know, like, more comfortable with going around people in town and, like, being open with who you guys were. Because they were closed off. She worked in town, and I swear to the Lord above, if it wasn't for our kids going to school together, I would have never known her. Like, we did not share Facebook friends, which is, like, weird if you live in the same...
Right.
They literally, it was like they did not exist here. I truthfully thought they just moved here from somewhere else. So when she messaged me and was like, no, like, we live here. We've lived here for a long time. Like,
Years, yeah.
My husband graduated from this school, so on and so forth. And I thought, that's really weird that y'all are not friends with anybody. Well,
No, we didn't become friends with anybody in that area until we met.
Yeah, and that's something Joey has said to me is because of how welcoming I was, it made them feel more safe to be able to be themselves. And it worked out well. Because there's people now, and I'm not going to name names, but there's people now who, when I first started hanging out with you guys, they did, like, think you guys were different, or, like, maybe think I was weird for not thinking you guys were weird. Because this is a small town, and you guys are the only people in this town that is like that.
That's open.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about any of that. But, so, those same people now know you and they like you and your guys' kids go to school together. You guys, they have a bunch of Facebook friends now. Mutual friends from the same town. Yeah. When they started with 0 from the same town, and now we have like 113 mutual friends from the same town. But that is one thing. Every single person that I know of that had doubts about you guys, I was like, you guys, they're fucking awesome. They just are. You have... Look at Crystal as Crystal. Look at Jamie as Jamie. Yep. Look at Joey as Joey. And get to know them as individuals. Do not go in there thinking, we are meeting 3 people that like to be in a relationship together.
Well, and I remember whenever you first came over, and then, like, we had text or something later, and you were like, that was such a good time. Like, I think I just worried that I was going to be there and y'all were just going to be making out all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you make out with your husband all the time?
Which
when people are over?
Yeah. I do remember that. Because that is the one girl that I'm talking about that I'm not going to say her name. That is something that she had put into my head. You know, how are you going to explain it to Jace if the 3 of them are making out together? You know, I was like, I don't really know. But truthfully, at that, like, I don't want to sit there and make out in front of my kids. So I remember, like, saying to you, because they don't even, I don't know what other people picture when they think of you guys. I don't know if they picture, like, massive orgies, but that's not it. Like, we cook dinner. Crystal usually is hanging out with me, and we're, like, doing whatever. Jamie is usually hanging out with Dylan, which is her best friend, and Joey is usually in the video game room with the boys. Like, it is literally like just a group of friends. It's not a poly couple intertwined with each other.
Right.
I mean,
we all have our own thing.
Yeah.
We can do our own thing and do it together or in separate rooms of the house.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's, I mean, Jamie and Dylan will be on the back porch hanging out. Me and you will be in here watching wig videos. Like, that's just the way it goes. And I think people have, like, weird visions of what they think goes on here. So it made people closed off. And that would be my advice. Like, it's just like making any other friend, go into it as this is going to be my new friend or whatever. And base whatever you want to judge them off of that. If she was a bitch to me and, like, was mean to me or made fun of my makeup or my hair or whatever, then we wouldn't be friends. But I'm not going to not be your friend because you have a girlfriend. That's stupid.
Right.
Or a wife. Or 12 wives. Whatever. So,
I'm good.
Yeah. No more.
No sliding in the DMs. I'm good.
Yep, that's it.
Well, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You did so well.
Okay. You guys, I'm awkward and nervous all the time. I was worried I was going to be weird. I probably still was weird.
I love her regardless.
Aww. Thanks so much.